Hello, Trade Pros. It's Victoria from Trade Pro Academy, and today we've got yet another video for you guys. And in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how to trade futures with a time chart and what to look for in futures on a time chart. So we do typically talk about trading futures on tick charts and how they're superior in general, but there's also merit to looking at time charts and seeing on time charts where you may find very key support resistances, what to use on a time chart and which time charts to use. So I'm going to show you a quick video here on some of the rules that I like to implement when trading futures, and not necessarily doing it 100% on a time chart, but using this in conjunction with tick charts. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to explain everything that you see here on the screen as to what it is I use and how to use it. So let's go ahead and get started. After you guys smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell to notify you when we do drop videos like these and when we do go live every morning. And let's get ready for the intro and get right into this. So to explain further what we're looking at here, why we're looking at things, and so on, and how to use this, why don't we first explain what kind of chart this is. This is a 30-minute chart on the S&P 500 futures, the E-minis. And on this chart, we've got a lot of things. We've got these drawn lines. We have drawn trend lines. We have drawn horizontal lines that are great for levels. But what I also like to do is, number one, draw the volume at the bottom here so I can see what kind of volume this is. Number two, throw up a sessional volume profile. So if you go to the function aspect here on TradingView, you can find in volume profile, you have session volume HD, and that's what I use for every single session here. I also used a visible range volume profile here on the right hand side to give me more of an indication of where the big volume is in a specific time period. When I scroll out, you can see that it changes a little. So this is a 30-minute chart, and what else I have added is also a moving average complex. So the moving averages that I have right here are 200 EMA, right? This is the blue line that you see right here. And what I deem as one of the most important aspects of this chart is the 3450 EMA Cloud. So this is an EMA complex. It's not anything complicated. It's just a 34 EMA and a 50 EMA, and they are combined within one indicator. If you guys want to find that, again, go to function and then type in EMA Cloud, I believe, and the first one here by Zamboni Man. And when you get into that and you add that, the settings are as such. You take away everything on the style except for the MA Cloud, and you keep whatever colors you want here, not too important. And then in the inputs, I go 3450 0. I press OK, and here we go. So on the 1 hour or the 30-minute, the EMA Cloud is great because it tells me the direction of the trend, and it enabled me to actually call out where this downside swing was actually about to reverse. So how I trade futures on a time-based chart, there are two larger charts that I like to use, and that is the 1 hour and the 30-minute chart. Those two charts are the larger time frames that I hold on to and that I use on a daily basis because those enable me to find key areas of resistance and support. So pretty big areas of rejection, right? So these peaks, this like triple bottom thing right here, we managed to draw a trend line, but these peaks that extend like this, those are transition points. This peak right here I've identified because that is a key level. If we break above, we may find some longs. Down here, this huge rejection point, that's a key level. And I'll just draw lines at these rejection areas and identify these key areas from prior days where price may break out, right? So those are the larger levels. I also draw trend lines so I can see where the transition points are going to be. That means that, for example, if we're in a downtrend and we continuously hold lower highs and lower lows, right? We drop like this, drop like this, drop like this, and we hold the 34 EMA moving average every time we pull down. That's going to tell me that, you know what, like every time we make a new lower high, if we break through that, it's going to be a transition point, right? If we hold the EMA Cloud, those are areas on the 1 hour chart that I'm going to highlight on whatever intraday chart that I trade as levels of resistance, right? So when we make that transition back above the prior lower high and the EMA switches, I'm now looking to buy the pullbacks into the broken first top, which I identified on the 1 hour, but I can look at it on a 5-minute chart with that level drawn out and look to buy it there. And the pullbacks into this EMA now that we've turned green and we're trying to ride the trend to the upside. So when we deviate a little too far from it, I expect the pullback to come back into that area, and that usually confirms with a prior top. So I can draw tops like this to see where the trend will actually shape up, right? And I can draw the higher lows, and see if we break back below. So if we're going to turn bearish, for example, in this scenario, that means that I would draw a level right here. I would just extend this purple rectangle because this is where the prior top was rejected and where we actually made the transition point, the break and retest of that area, creating a new higher low. There's a new higher low right here. So maybe we can draw a box right here, a new higher low. So if we break this higher low right here, we'll probably be breaking into that moving average, and we'll see if the moving average holds maybe on a 1 hour green candle for that continued move to the upside. Should we break back below it, then we have a transition point and we can start selling into the pullbacks of those areas. So I like to draw these trend lines and these levels on the 1 hour chart. And then I can go down to a 10-minute and see if I can zero in on some of these levels. So right now what I've drawn here is this key support, and you can see the EMA still holds, and we have a very key support coming in right here between 39.35 and 39.40, so, or just 39.39, so about a 4-point area that allows us to look for potential longs coming into that EMA, right? So if we're looking at potential longs in this area, we want to see, okay, well, based on the area right here of the volume profile, we start to thin out and we'll get a support based on this peak of the volume profile right here. So somewhere within this vicinity, I can start looking for a long, right? I can drop down to a 5-minute chart as well and do the same thing and see if I can look for a long on this longer scale chart right here. So again, it's multi-time frame analysis, and with futures, you are putting on a little more risk. Multi-time frame analysis on the time charts for futures with a few very simple and specific rules here. So when we're looking for this, you could swing trade these. You could just use these as general market gauges, or you can day trade them on a smaller time frame like this 5-minute. The thing that you should know is that when you drop down on the different time charts, the moving averages will change. So that's why I stick to the 1 hour as being my 34.50 EMA threshold area, right? I will use the EMA and those levels based on the 1 hour. I will not use that same EMA on a 5 or 10-minute. I will hold it in the 1 hour to see if we hold those areas. And then if you want to use different EMAs on smaller time frames to see where we could pull back and how we could hold, there are different ones. Like a 20 EMA works well for the 5-minute. So having said that, with the multi-time frame analysis, to reiterate, trading the 1 hour chart and the 30-minute for those overall levels. And you can translate those to your Sierra charts, to your TD, whatever it is. But whatever you trade on the futures front, I do recommend that you trade with a larger time frame to actually find those big key levels, because they're very useful. Even if you trade on a tick chart, use a 30-minute, use an hour chart to find those big rejection points. Throw it on TradingView, find some of the EMAs, see where those key areas of support and resistance and how the overall trend will work, because that's where the big money is if you follow the larger trend for that larger release and that larger move. So with that being said, you can apply these rules and bring them forward to your trading strategy, whether it's a pullback or a breakout, because these do work really well on breakouts. For example, on the hour chart, if we go back to the hour chart and you identify those breakout points, right, whether it's a prior top or a prior low right here, for example, if we said, okay, well, the breakout point is going to be 33.5 and you're getting long on the breakout, this area right here enabled you to see that on a larger hourly chart, an area that we have not tested in a while. So you can take this and add this to your strategy, whether it's pullbacks or breakouts, or whether you trade on tick charts or different type of charts. Think of adding some of these tools, especially on TradingView, to get these larger levels to give you a better idea of how the trend will continue and where your levels of interest are. I really like the 30-minute and the 1 hour for the larger time frame. Even if you don't trade based on time. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is Victoria from TRADEPRO Academy, and I want you guys to drop some comments down below. What do you think? Do you use this to trade futures? Do you use time charts to trade futures? Do you identify key levels on time charts at least to trade futures? What are your futures steps? Let us know down below. We'd be glad to learn from you guys as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.